As someone who genuinely ships both ZUTARA and Kataang, and can't stand how toxic the fandom is between fighting which one is better, I'm going to share my unbiased opinion on why I did a ZUTARA video on why I like ZUTARA better, but today I'm going to do one on why I like Kataang better. In full transparency, I do barely ship Kataang more than ZUTARA, but I did ship ZUTARA more like all of my life. This is a recent development. The biggest anti-Kataang argument that I ever see is that Katara did not feel the same way about Aang. She was just motherly to him, and that the whole ship is unfair to her. But I hate to break it to you, Katara loved this boy. She was totally into him. They are also children. Little kids. When they are adults, things will change. But even in their 14 and 12-year-old state, look at her. She's totally blushing at him. Think of how jealous she gets when he asks the other girl to dance and she goes, if that's what you like. The only reason Katara was weird to Aang during the play episode that every ZUTARA shipper comes back to is because they were literally in the middle of war. They were about to fight Ozai during the comet. Aang deserved to be clocked. He was getting totally sidetracked. I didn't personally see that moment as her trying to blow him off the way a lot of people saw it. And though I do think Zuko and Katara's friendship at the very least pushed her to see past all of her racist issues with the Fire Nation and thinking that they were all evil, which I think is great for her. I think it's good for her to grow that way. I do think it might have been a bit much after everything the Fire Nation put her through to then make her the Fire Nation queen. That feels like a little bit too much to me. Not to mention, I do believe in marrying your equal in the real world and your best friend. I think the whole enemies to lovers thing is very tropey, and a lot of people love it in a book setting where they want it to be super tension and dramatic. But in the real world, you want to marry your best friend. You want it to just be seamless and fun and you get along. And to me, that's exactly what Kataang is. Not to mention already by the time we get to the comics, Aang is tall. He's taller than anyone else in the game. We are basing a lifetime of a couple together based on the 6 months they knew each other as kids. I have full faith that Kataang is going to grow in all the ways that people think it's lacking. She's not going to be motherly. He's going to be her protector. He's tall. He's all of the things that people say that Zuko is that Aang's not. In the end, Kataang is not the same level of tropey and intense as a lot of people love because they're so used to watching all these TV shows and romance books. Kataang does not have the same energy as ZUTARA does in that way, but it's better. This friendship is so sweet. They get each other on such a fundamental level. Think of everything they've been through together. There's no way you don't fall deeply in love with someone after everything you've been through. To mention, Zuko loves May, which I don't love that shit. That is one thing I will say. But regardless, the point being, everyone ended up with who their actual equal is and who they actually would be happiest with long term. Once I put that together, it helped me come to peace because I liked ZUTARA more growing up as a kid. My only complaint is the character differences in them as adults when they're parents, that the writers did them dirty in my opinion, saying that Aang would have been a terrible father and Katara wouldn't have done anything about that. You're telling me she would have let Aang have favorites? There's no way. Anyways, hopefully we get clarity on that when the adult movie comes out and they clear my boy Aang's name because that was really frustrating. And one of the only best defenses I've seen for ZUTARA.